Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're heading to Tennessee. That's where we get to talk to Captain Richard Sims. He is the owner of Scenic Fishing Charters out of Chattanooga. He's a longtime outdoors journalist, and he is the brand new editor of a digital online magazine called CRAPPIE Now. Richard, welcome to the show.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, big news about becoming the editor of CRAPPIE Now. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about this absolutely free digital online magazine?
Well, I've been familiar with CRAPPIE Now for years. I've been a subject in the magazine on occasion or two. One of the creators of the magazine was T.J. Stallings, and I've known T.J. for years and years. Unfortunately, T.J. has passed on now, but he's very well known in the crappie fishing world because he was a marketing representative for TTI Blakemore that represents Roadrunner lures and Daiichi hooks and a whole lot of other stuff crappie fishermen use. So I'm following in some big footsteps as the new editor for this magazine. I dare say most serious crappie fishermen in the world are familiar with it because, as you said, it's a free magazine. All you got to do is just go online and go to crappienow.com and read the magazine for free. It's, of course, sponsor-supported, and it's become quite widely read in the 10 years it's been in existence. Owner tells me now they're up to 1 million annual page views. So
wow.
That's a whole lot of people clicking on the internet, reading all about crappie fishing out there.
So a couple things. Number one, I'm with you. T.J. Stallings, one of the class acts of the fishing industry. I got the chance to know him as well. And you do have some big shoes to fill, but I am confident with your background, you're going to do a great job. Is this the sort of magazine where it's completely new content every month or every quarter? Or is there new content coming out all the time and you should be checking the website all the time to make sure you're keeping up?
It's once a month, just like a regular magazine that would normally appear in your mailbox. The shows up on the internet the first of every month, and it's all brand new. It's just like a magazine. You have two options to choose from when you go to read it. They have that, what they call the page turn edition, which is just like reading a magazine on your computer, except you're using your mouse to click and turn the pages. Or you can download a PDF version if you prefer reading it that way. But no, it comes out once a month, just like a regular magazine.
All right. Well, let's turn our attention to the guide service that you own in Chattanooga, Scenic City Fishing. You certainly take people out for crappie fishing. What does a day on the water look like with you?
I am a seasonal crappie guide. 80% of the year, my focus is on catfishing, the Tennessee River. But in the springtime, February, March, early April, almost 100% of my trips are for crappie. And that's because I specialize in longline trolling, which is a super simple technique for crappie fishing. You can take anybody out there, somebody who's never touched a fishing rod in their life. You can take a 6-year-old kid, or you can take a seasoned veteran out there and catch fish long line trolling. And that's why I prefer doing that as a guide, because I get a lot of inexperienced fishermen or kids, dads with young kids, etc. And that's a technique that they can go out and catch a lot of fish and have a lot of fun and take home some food for the freezer. We have great fishery here. You can catch crappie year-round, but other parts of the year require a little bit more advanced techniques that are really tough on a guide to try to teach an inexperienced fisherman. So that's the reason that I only guide for them seasonally, because I like getting those inexperienced folks out there and youngsters out there and make sure they have a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like a whole lot of fun. And folks, there's a great video on the Scenic City Fishing website. easy to find, sceniccityfishing.com, that shows a big brother along with a young man who are going out and catching a whole bunch of crappie in the method that Richard just described. So check out sceniccityfishing.com, and if you're listening today on Nooga Radio, maybe you'll want to book a trip yourself, or if you're heading to Chattanooga, consider booking a trip with Scenic City Fishing. And no matter where you live, definitely make it a point to check out the free online magazine that comes out every month, Crappie Now. The website to go to, crappienow.com. That's crappienow.com for all sorts of information to up your crappie fishing game. Richard, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
John, thank you very much for having me. It's been an honor.